Hi, everyone. I'm Jeff Munroe from Middlebury here on the third stop of my collector's tour on October 1st, 2024. Yesterday, I was at dust collector number 13 in the Tusher Range in central Utah. Today, I'm sitting in front of dust 14 high in the La Salle Mountains outside of Moab. I want to thank the Monti La Salle National Forest for permission to deploy this collector for the duration of the Dust Squared project. This location seems to be as good as any to answer a question that I know that many of you probably have, and that is why in the world would someone want to collect dust in the first place? Believe me, I've heard just about every joke imaginable to that effect. But there are really good reasons why one might want to study dust and the geoecological significance of dust. The main one here that's on display is that dust really has a large impact on the formation of soils in mountain environments. The classic model for soil formation, you take bedrock or sediment, you weather it, you add a bit of organic matter, you mix it all together, and you have a soil. That's a simple model. And as always the case, simple models work, but they also come up a bit short. And the top of a mountain, like where I am right here, is a good location in which that simple model fails to explain the complexity of what we are seeing. There's dust landing in this environment, lots of dust. Dust which is blowing up from desert environments in the southwestern US, dust which could be coming from deserts all over the world, really. And it's landing here on top of this mountain ridge. And in doing so, is providing a second possible parent material for the soil, not just breaking down this local bedrock, but actually weathering and breaking down dust as another pathway for soil development here. If we compare the properties of dust with the properties of the bedrock, and the properties of the soil, we can actually discover that in locations like this, a fair amount, a substantial amount, more than half really, of the soil that's present in this environment is due to the deposition of dust and not due to the more traditional model of breaking down the local bedrock. That's important because sometimes the dust can deliver nutrients, for instance, which are not present in the local bedrock. Or at the other extreme, the dust could be delivering heavy metals like cadmium or zinc and so on, which could be accumulating in the soil, perhaps with worrisome effects. There's no evidence that that's happening here. Instead, what we see is this beautiful meadow of alpine vegetation featuring a lot of different plant species which rely on high amounts of calcium, for instance, in the soil. And a lot of that calcium is actually coming from the dust. If we look forward into a future where we don't know exactly what's going to happen with the dust system in the southwestern United States in the face of climate change, it's interesting to wonder what will happen to environments like this, which are to a certain degree dependent on dust derived or dust delivered nutrients. So I'm going to get to work on emptying this collector, seeing exactly what accumulated here in the time since I was last at this location. I want to thank you for listening. I will see you again at the next collector. And once again, thanks to the National Science Foundation for supporting Dust Squared.